All right. What is going on? What is going on, everybody? What is tea? I am a couple minutes late. My apologies. I'm figuring out all of this and getting all of this together. This is going to be my first Instagram live today. How exciting. I have some things that I want to talk about today. I have some stuff going on. Um, Listen, I want to catch up. I am live right now on my YouTube channel, Georgia, Carolina. Jorja, spelled like Georgia Smith, Carolina, spelled like both states. Hey, serving up shade. How you doing, baby? I am on YouTube live right now. Hi, guys. I tried to figure out a better angle so that I'm not looking up and down, but I'm just gonna have to figure that out. So God bless you guys. Yeah, so right now I am on YouTube right here. You guys are YouTube. This is Georgia, Carolina, Jorja, spelled like Georgia Smith, Carolina, spelled like both states. Down here, I am on Instagram. This is the Real Reality Realness. There's a lot of changes going on, but we'll figure it all out. Hey Marae, how you doing, babe? Um, yeah, so I just wanted to jump on, talk to you guys a little bit, catch up, show my face, and just see how the girls are doing. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me get a little more intimate. Okay. I don't know if that made any difference at all. I just turned the light off, and now the two lights that I have right here are focused in. I don't know if that makes any difference, but y'all can let me know. What is going on? Listen, I have bullet points. I have notes. I have a full like schedule of things that I want to talk about. There's a lot of things that I need to get to. So I am going to jump in, start talking. Hopefully you guys come in and then we'll just kind of, keep going as it goes. And then if somebody wants to call in, jump in later, we'll figure all that out as it goes. I'm just kind of, shooting the shit today. So with that being said, Happy New Year. Hi guys, how you doing? Happy New Year. We made it. You did it, Joe. You did it, Joe. We are into 2023. What is going on? Um, Listen, how are you guys' holidays? My holidays, I spent most of it working. I do this podcast like 6 to 7 days a week doing interviews and stuff like that, plus all of the other stuff that I'm doing that we'll talk a little bit about later. But there's just, I don't really do holidays like that. Like I have an 8-year-old daughter, so my holidays are for her. You know what I'm saying? Like she's fun to kick it with. You know what I'm saying? Watching her bust open presents and tear up wrapping paper is cute or whatever. Happy New Year, Alexis. What's up, babe? But it's really not, my thing for several reasons. I am more of a birthdays and anniversary people. Like I'm very much, Stevie Wonder, Tony, happy birthday to you, it's our anniversary. Like that's my steez, you know what I mean? That's my stilo. So I don't really get down with, big holidays. Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure we all can put together why I don't really fuck with Thanksgiving. But Christmas, for the kid, let her tear up stuff. God bless, right? So, however, I am thinking because I think about this every year, but I always think about it too late. Is there anybody out here that does Kwanzaa? Because with all the anti-Semitism going on in the social medias and the headlines going on right now, with all of the Christmas sprinkling through the holidays and doing all of that, getting through the highways and byways, nobody really talks about Kwanzaa, right? And for me, when the holidays come up, I think about that episode of The Proud Family when the homeless family that may or may not have existed in real life popped up and they taught the Prouds about Kwanzaa and them. Real, the Habarigani realness. Um, I think about that. Yeah, I always think about it too late. You know what I'm saying? Because I always want to celebrate Kwanzaa, but then I never really get the chance to. So because I don't ever plan ahead. I don't ever plan ahead. And because I don't celebrate holidays, I don't ever think to plan around Kwanzaa. Right. So I think next year that's gonna be my one of my New Year's resolutions for this year is to actively plan for Kwanzaa, actively plan to be a part of, the holiday festivity in my own way into something that is more, culturally appropriate for my hair texture. Just saying. So, love all of that, appreciate it. And on top of that, I really want to get back to pushing like this all black everything aesthetic when it comes to my daughter, because in raising her, I was really the person who wanted to like really like give my daughter all black everything, right? So like the books that I bought her were by black authors about black kids. The TV shows that I let her watch were about black people. Like we didn't watch Caillou. We watched Little Bill around my house. Okay? No shade to the Caillou fans. I know that's popular to y'all. But we met in the middle with the Peppa Pig. Because some of them, they are black British people. So we can meet in the middle on that, right? But I just, like black toys, black Barbie dolls, black like black. We really try to reinforce her culture because I grew up in a time where all I had was black TV. Like it was so much black TV. It was Martin, it was All of Us, it was the Hughleys, it was the Steve Harvey Show, it was, the Different Worlds, it was the Cosby Shows, it was the Weigh-ins, it was the New York Undercovers, it was the Wire, it was everything. Like there was so much black TV, and so I never had a shortage of black representation growing up. Yet I didn't necessarily see it in certain types of mediums when it comes to like toys and things like that. And when it comes to the stuff that my daughter is exposed to, I really want to just reinforce that in a more intentional type of effort. You know what I mean? So, not that the representation isn't there, it's more so that I just want to make sure that it's like reinforced, like by any means necessary. You know what I mean? So next year we gonna do Kwanzaa, we gonna do the whole thing, we're gonna watch, like my daughter loves the Proud Family. So we're gonna, watch the whole Kwanzaa episode, get into the Habari Ghani fantasy, and we're gonna do our Thisnai. You know what I mean? So with that being said, um, I want to talk to you guys really quick about a lesson that I just learned in life, right? Thank you. Thank you, serving up shade. Listen, I'm just trying to, keep people, culturally stimulated, culturally fed. I don't want to be the reason why my daughter is a self-hating black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have time for that. Like we aren't doing the dear white people storyline. So I just want to make sure that she's, on top of her shit at all times and knows exactly who she is, where she comes from, and all of that. Da, 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 right? But I want to talk to you guys about a lesson that I just recently learned because I listen, I was saying going into the new year that this is the first new year that I have stepped into a new year with like opportunities on the table, things I'm looking forward to, projects that I'm working on that I can't talk about. Like I love being able to say shit like that. Like I have things that I can't talk about. I love that. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Alexis. Listen, we gotta do us right. You know what I'm saying? It's basically in the same line of like I don't celebrate Fourth of July. I celebrate Juneteenth. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna celebrate white people liberating themselves from Great Britain to come over here and do all type of fuck shit and do all type of debauchery and evil. You know what I'm saying? To kill, steal, and destroy. So I don't celebrate their Independence Day. I celebrate our liberation. Okay. Shout out to Juneteenth. But but there was a lesson that I just learned, and this is the first year that I've really gone into a new year with new opportunities, new things on the table, new things that are coming up for me that I'm really excited about. It's this is the first year that I've stepped into optimistically and really like have had something to look forward to and like are really in a place where things are happening. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to. I'll figure it out. But maybe if I. Hmm, let's see. because I want to make sure that everybody can see appropriately, right? Okay. So, as I was saying, um, I want to step into this year, as intentional as possible and make sure that I am as prepared as I can be for all the opportunities that are being presented to me because I want to, you know, walk into the room and own it, as the African proverb says. So, with that being said, my year started off really crazy because I woke up January 2nd to an email that a show that I had auditioned for had accepted me. They had casted me. They had wanted me to come on and be a part of the production or whatever. And so I was so excited because, like, that's the first email I get of 2023 is, you've been casted. Awesome, right? Not going to give all the details, not going to give all of the, names or anything like that. But I say all of that to say, vaguely speaking, that it was a situation that was kind of very last minute, very kind of like, you get picked on Tuesday, you start filming on Saturday, like it was very quick and it was very like on the money, right? And it was a situation that I really wanted to do, but in the grand scheme of, what I actually could do, I wasn't able to do it, right? And it sucks. It really, really sucks. I'm really sad that I couldn't do the show because it was a type of show that I've always wanted to do. It was a type of production that I've always wanted to be a part of. If you listen to my podcast, you can piece that together. But I feel like if I talk about what type of show it actually was, I'll give too much away. So I say all of that to say I really wanted to be a part of it. It seemed like it was going to be a really good experience, but the situation just kind of didn't work out for me. However, as upset as I was about it, I had to kind of take time and step back and realize that as good of an opportunity as it was, as amazing as a show I'm sure it is, and as much as I wanted to do it, um, sometimes everything isn't for you and every blessing isn't your blessing. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna get religious on y'all because I'm more spiritual, but I'm a studying Buddhist, so we're figuring all of that out. But I this situation was something that I wanted to do, but it just wasn't for me. And just because there were opportunities that could be mine doesn't mean that they're necessarily for me. And I've kind of learned to just take a step back and pay attention to the opportunities that are really significant to the trajectory that I want to have into the overall bigger picture. I say all of that to say this situation, while it was going to be a great show, while I'm sure that it will be a great show, and whoever does join the cast and be a part of it, y'all are gonna fuck it up. But um the context of the show, I was going to be a one-time cast member on a season of this show, right? However, there are situations and things in place that I am going to be working on this year that are not only more involved with me as a personality than that, but and however, it is more directly in line with the overall scope of what I want to be doing in my career. So, me being a Virgo, I think too much about everything. I think too much about everything. Everything is a huge deal. Everything is a problem. Everything is massive. Everything is like, you know, of high priority, right? And so I just didn't want to look like I wasn't able to be in pocket. I wasn't able to, do all the things that I said I wanted to do. Like, I don't like to waste anybody's time. So if I'm going to sign up for something, I want to make sure that I'm able to do it, this and the third. And I thought that I was going to be able to pull off a miracle, pull a rabbit out of my wig, something, right? But, however, I had to pull out of the project. And, you know, once again, if those people are watching this, I'm sorry again. Um, but it didn't necessarily hurt as much as I thought it was going to hurt because I had to step back and count the blessings that I'm already walking into the year with. And I had to step back and think about all of the things that I do have coming up outside of that opportunity. And the blessings that I have on the table, the blessings that I have coming are so much bigger and so much grander and so much more than this one situation, right? And that's to take nothing away from the production of this show, from these people, from it's nothing about that. It's just about when I think about the overall concept of what I want to do, where I want my career to go long term, and putting things in place and putting keys in doors that are going to open up the things that I want to be doing for the next 20 and 30 years of my life. The opportunities that I am going to be able to do this year far outweigh the one opportunity that I didn't get a chance to do. Do you get what I'm saying? So in that in that it's kind of taught me to reframe my thinking about it. And just because you don't get to do something doesn't mean that it's negative. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It just wasn't for you in that moment. Not every blessing is your blessing, right? And so whoever does take my place on that show, I hope you kill it and I hope you win. Okay? So along with everybody else on the cast, I hope all y'all win. But y'all know what Paris means. Um I just think that it's very interesting that I am it's crazy that, you know, I've had a lot of stints of trying to be a part of the entertainment industry, from auditioning, self-taping myself to audition for Disney at like 8, 9 years old, to auditioning for Making the Band, to all the other things that I've done, modeling, this, that, and the third, making music, go stream my mixtape. Um, I've had a lot of bouts at being in the entertainment industry, including doing another YouTube channel, doing another podcast before this. And it seems like this iteration of me trying to step into the entertainment industry, this podcast, Real Reality Realness, it seems like this is the one that was supposed to happen. Do you get what I mean? I feel like this was the situation where it was like the stars aligned with me actually being ready to do the situations and like do the things that I wanted to do the interviews that I wanted to do, to excel or grow in the ways that I wanted to grow. And the amount of opportunities that I've had over the past few months. I started this podcast September 8th. That was the day that I launched my first episode. And, all of the people who I've been able to interview, the conversations I've been able to have, the opportunities that have been blessed upon me, I can't expect, I can't think of it as being anything but ornate or supposed to happen, because it just it feels so right. Have you ever been in a place where you feel like your puzzle pieces are fitting together and you feel like you've actually like kind of stepped into your purpose, you've stepped into what you're supposed to be doing because the pieces are just rocking the way that they're supposed to? It is amazing. And, you know, some people said that I heard somebody say in an interview once that I was doing, or it may have been a conversation that I was having. My life is a blur at this point, but that 2022 was their year of arrival. And I listened to that and it hit me and it made me think. I was like, you know what? I don't think that 2022 was my year of arrival. I feel like 2022 was my year of preparation. It was my year of, show and prove. It was my year of getting my own mental together, because thinking about where I started 2022 and where I ended 2022, it's honestly pretty freaking nuts. 2022 was a long ass year. Like, I started 2022 doing a YouTube channel that was strictly about analyzing and dissecting the social awareness disparities of people of color within the pop culture space, right? And then I took a break from that, popped up with a podcast, and now I'm having the most impactful conversations of my life, which have led me to opportunities that are directly in line with the overall career that I want to have for the rest of my life. Hi, Gabrielle. Um, Quick pause. Let me go back and read this comment from the Cosmic Clubhouse. Retrograde energy here to have you thinking about your mission and structures, whether things actually help or detract. You know what? It's crazy that you say that, because that actually goes directly into another point that I have when it comes to figuring out whether things actually help or detract. It's actually kind of led me to focus in my content and restructure the way that I'm doing things. I know that I was talking about launching all these different podcasts, doing all of these different things, and working on all of these different projects. I've decided to put a few of those projects on pause right now because I want to make sure that I dedicate the maximum amount of energy to the platform that is making all of this happen, which is Real Reality Realness, and also the podcast that I have the most fun doing, which is Housewives History. Do you know what I mean? So those are going to be the podcasts that I put my most energy into right now. There's some other things that are going to be coming from me in the podcast space later on that you guys will get to enjoy, but stay tuned for that. I can't talk about that yet, but Real Reality Realness is going to be where I put my most energy into. I'm going to make sure that I put everything into making that the biggest show that it can be. So once I fully put portions of my energy into the other shows and spread that 100% around to all of these other shows, I'll be able to do everything that I need to do effectively. I think that because of Real Reality Realness, I've been able to, like I said, step into the parking lots that have some of the doors that I want to walk into, right? So I feel like 2023, I don't even want to claim it as my year of arrival yet, because I live under the philosophy that it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, right? I'm only in year one. I'm literally within my first 6 months. So I want to remain as humble as possible and try to always stay within the mindset of, like, um you don't have to be perfect at all times. You don't have to have it all together at one time, right? But I say all of that to say that I want to thank all of the people who have come on my podcast since September up until now. Every single conversation that I've had has been an amazing opportunity. Every single um every single episode that I've done has meant the world to me. I've left every conversation feeling extremely grateful. The opportunities that have come from those conversations mean the absolute world to me. All of you, you know who you are. Um, all the people who are coming up on the podcast, I am somebody who lives by Joan Rivers' state of life. If you've seen Joan Rivers' documentary called A Piece of Work, she held up the date book and was like, "You want to know fear? This is fear. When no one wants you, when your date book is completely empty, da 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 da," and her calendar was blank. I live by that kind of philosophy. And so being able to wake up every day and see me have all of these multiple interviews that I have to do, seeing myself booked out through January, seeing all of the opportunities that I get to have conversations with people about their lives, their journeys, their creativity, it really it's really kind of put me in the best mental space of my life. Like, I'm truly grateful, and I want to thank every single one of you guys for impacting my life. I want to thank every single one of you for being a part of the show that has saved me. You know what I mean? Getting up and doing this show every day, getting up and being on this show. I do interviews 6 to 7 days a week. You know what I mean? And having that to look forward to every day means the absolute world to me. I can't tell you what a joy it is to have everybody come on and be vulnerable enough to tell me their stories. And then on top of that, leave the interview feeling like they weren't being interviewed, but like they were just like having a conversation. That is really, it's been a joy. It's been a real absolute joy for me. And I can't take any energy away from that right now, except to do the spinoff podcast, the original spinoff podcast, Housewives History, with my co-host Megan Eady at Real Housewives Analyst or Real Housewife Analyst, one of the two. Um, Doing that podcast has been the most fun I've ever had. Oh, wait, comments. Hold on. Before I jump into Housewives History, let's read comments. Um, Gabrielle, you an artist and you create. Thank you so much. I'm very Erica Badu about my life. She's an artist and she's sensitive about her shit. Ding, ding, ding. Very that. Very, very that. Um, it's clear past. Yes, yes. It's clear the past and have a clear foundation step by step. 10 million%. I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm leaving in the past and just taking what is happening and what is working now into the future and just celebrating all of the accomplishments that people may look at him and are like, oh, you ain't doing shit. But like being able to get up and do this podcast and produce this product and have something that I'm genuinely proud to do, create, and listen to every single day is a big accomplishment. And seeing the reactions to people from the episode, seeing how people connect to the episodes, it is immensely, immensely impactful to me, and it is humbling to say the least. Thank you, Alexis. That's exactly how I felt after our chat. Thank you so much. That because that's really what I want. Like, as much as I want to have these impactful and deep conversations, I don't want it to feel like you're sitting in an interview where you have to be, very specific and think about what you have to say, or I don't want people to be worried about how they're going to come off. Do you know what I mean? I want people to be comfortable enough to share how they genuinely feel and know that they're in a safe space that isn't judging them for the things that they are choosing to express. Do, do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a messy girl. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not messy. I'm not somebody who is going to ask crazy and invasive questions. Um, I may ask a question that may lead you to tell a messy story, but that is on your own. That's your prerogative. God bless you. But that is what it is. There's never really been anything crazy that's happened on my show, and I kind of appreciate that because people enjoy the fact that I just want to talk to them about them and like talk to them about their journey and what led them to their platforms and what led them to where they are today. I like hearing about people's life story. Like I like to say Real Reality Realness is if Inside the Actor Studio was a podcast about creatives instead of just about actors, that would be my show. Do you know? Do you get what I mean? Love you. Bye, Cosmic Clubhouse. Go listen to House of Bravo podcast, y'all. Oh my God. Their interview changed my entire life. They came on and gave me a whole reading. Like they read me in the best way possible. House of Bravo came on and read my ass to the house down boots, and I couldn't have appreciated it more. They do astrological readings and all of that stuff. Please check them out. They're amazing, and they also have a podcast where they talk about housewives from an astrological perspective. Go and check them out because they turned my ass all the way out. By the way, what cuss words can you say on what platforms and what can't you say? Because I don't do this regularly. Like I don't be out here in these live streets. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even do visual components to my podcast because I really want the audience to just focus in on the conversation and not be distracted by how beautiful I am or how good my guest looks. Do you get what I mean? I really want the conversation to pierce through in every episode, and I want the person's story and the person's journey to pierce through in every episode. So I don't do a visual component to the podcast for that reason. If you guys are wondering why I don't post the video on my YouTube channel, I do my interviews through Zoom because it's more convenient, not because I want to do a video component. I just personally like the traditional podcast format of just zoning out into your ears, putting on your headphones, and really listening to some real content, right? because I feel like podcasts are really like one of the most um underestimated forms of content and medium that is out. Like, yes, everybody and they mama's cousin's sister, brother's baby daddy's uncle has a podcast, but how many of us are really out here like consistently listening to podcasts as like a main medium, right? Like for me, I mostly listen to podcasts and podcasts only, right? So I enjoy the action of just putting on headphones, sitting back, turning up, and just going off. Like there are so many different types of podcasts, so many different ones that I listen to, but I don't really hear many that are kind of doing what I'm doing. I say all of that to say, go listen to Real Reality Realness and let me know who you want me to bring on the show. Like, is there are there content creators? Are there reality stars? Are there musicians? Are there artists? Are there recording artists? Are there rappers, singers, painters, sculptors, nude models, porn stars? I've interviewed a lot of different people. So like, who would you like me to interview on the show? My only real criteria for bringing people on my podcast is that they have to have a connection to entertainment, pop culture, the entertainment industry, reality TV, something like that. And they have to have an interesting story, right? Now, you can't necessarily tell me what an interesting story is because I just recommend me people and then I'll let you know what I find interesting because every person who I've brought on my podcast, I've genuinely wanted to talk to them about something very specific in their life and in their story. So there's some things that I can't wait to get into on the show, speaking of, because there's just so many people who are coming up that I just cannot wait to dive into their life stories, right? But back to Housewives history. The reason why I'm focusing specifically in on Real Reality Realness and Housewives history as the other podcast that I'm doing, and I'm putting the other ones on pause is because Housewives history is the most fun that I have making content. Me getting on the line with Megan every week and sitting there and talking the shit and doing all of the things, that is the most fun that I have in all of my time. Like, I have the most fun over there, right? So, while people say that, if you love what you do, then you'll never work a day in your life, turn your passion into your paycheck, blah, 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 blah. I actually like enjoy working with someone. And, I'm a child of girl groups. I'm a child of boy bands. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to be in a group. Shout out to my making the band story. But I love working in teams and being a part of groups and like working as a collective to make things happen. So the organic chemistry that Megan and I have doing Housewives history has been, and not even just doing Housewives history, just our chemistry as friends because we communicate off mic, on the mic. Like, I talk to Megan more than I talk to most people at this point. Like, we talk every single day on several different platforms, and I really haven't had that connection with another person since my best friend Alex, right? Um, if you are a listener of the podcast, you guys know Alex was my best friend, my platonic soulmate who I built a drag house with. I basically started doing drag with Alex back in 2017. We were best friends for, 3-4 years. In 2020, he sadly died of or he unalived. I still don't know what I can and can't say on here, but he passed due to S word. So losing him was, the most painful experience with loss that I've ever had, right? And so I never thought that I would have that type of connection with anybody else or anything close to that connection with anybody else. And the interaction and the chemistry and the synergy that I have with Megan is the closest thing that I've ever felt to that type of chemistry. You know what I'm saying? It's very effortless, it's very genuine, and it's very loyal. You know what I'm saying? We really rock with each other. We really are genuine friends. And the crazy part about it is Megan and I disagree 60% of the time. Just saying. Like it's not like we're like, and I haven't called anybody my best friend since Alex, but I would definitely call Megan a best friend. We're not best friends because we get along and we agree all the time. I mean, we get along partially because we don't agree all the time and because we have conflicting opinions about things, and we're able to come together and have several different perspectives, and we open each other up to different perspectives and viewpoints that we don't consider. That's another aspect that I never kind of realized that I had with Alex that I share with Megan, is that we challenge each other and we open each other up to different perspectives while having yes, thank you, Dave. Thank you. Dave from Lost in the Groove. Thank you so much. BFF fight. Yes, it's very that. It's very like, you know, we're arguing but we're not arguing. Do you get me? But it's a really amazing thing, and I really appreciate Megan for putting up with me and my loudness and my throat and all of my drama. Because I talk a lot of shit, and I'm pretty sure I'm not an easy person to podcast with. Because especially when we're talking about housewives, like if anybody knows me from any piece of content that I've ever done, y'all know that I'm kind of known for having really strong opinions. And so I'm sure I'm not the easiest person to rock with. So the fact that it's so easy makes it so worth it. So I have the most fun of my life recording with Megan every week, and the interviews that I get to do on Real Reality Realness change my life literally every single day. Each conversation, I've been impacted, I've been taught something, I've learned something new, I've related to them in some way, I've connected with people. Like there's like I it's an amazing thing to walk into 2023 with something that genuinely means something to you, that is also working towards your benefit. Do you get what I mean? Um, like the fact that, my passion is also bringing me, levels of success that I didn't expect. Like for me, success is not just about a monetary gain. It's not just about coins in the bank. It's not about, because I'm not a materialistic person. Quite, in fact, the opposite. I'm a minimalist. So for me, it's not about having, extreme amounts of wealth, but I just want to set myself up for a trajectory to be comfortable taking care of my family doing what I love. Like if I can pay my bills doing this, I'm straight. Like I don't need a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? So, maybe a nice wig every now and again, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, a new phone, maybe a little, piece of gadget to play with, a little piece of headphone bust down, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, but I don't require a lot. So for me, it's not about that. It's about the genuine conversations that I'm having. It's about the authentic content that I am so proud of the podcasts that I'm doing, even the ones that I'm putting on hold right now. I am so proud of them as well. They'll be back. Don't worry. I'll make time to drop them when I can. It's just, I just give me time. There's a method to my madness, and there is a greater plan. But yeah, there's so much more that I have coming that I want to do, and it's all stemming from the foundation that I'm laying with Real Reality Realness, and from the joy that I get from doing Housewives history. I think that there's just so much more to be done, and I just want to say again, thank you to all of you guys for listening, to all of the people who come on, who give me the time of day to sit here and ask me all these random ass questions about their lives and about their content and about their creativity and all of those things, blah 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 blah. You know, let's see, what else did I need to talk about? Oh, okay. Well, I'll get into that in just a second. Let me read these comments and see what the girls is talking about. Let's see what the girls is talking about. It's really to go through that. Yeah. If you if you choose a path, being artist with the mindset of making your own the wrong, well, that's true. I agree with that. I think Nicki Minaj said this in a documentary. I think it was her "My Time Now" documentary way back in the day. If you're just doing this for fame and you're doing it for money and you're doing it for this and that and the third, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. So there you go. Thank you, Muddy Grace. I love you so much. Yes, I have found my groove. Pun intended. Full pun intended. Yeah, full pun intended, Dave. I have found my groove. I really feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I am setting the groundwork for all the things that I'm going to do in the future. I want to, like I've always grown up saying that I want to host 106 in Park. I want to have a radio show. I want to, be a personality, maybe like I want to, and like for me, being a personality was like being one of those talking heads on those VH1 shows that they used to do back in the day, like I Love the '90s or like, y'all remember Guy Code and Girl Code? Y'all remember those shows? Like, I wanted to do those shows. Like, I wanted to be on those types of shows. I wanted to do a talk show. Like, I wanted to do all of those shows. Like, I wanted to be Arsenio Hall. And doing this podcast has made the possibility of all of those things that I wanted to do as a kid and throughout my life seem more and more real and more plausible by the day. Every day I wake up and I realized, oh, I can actually do these things. I'm doing those things. You know what I'm saying? Like my podcast is a talk show. You know what I'm saying? And the opportunities that have come from me having this podcast is in line with like I'm going to be doing the things that I've always wanted to do. You don't take that lightly. You just don't take that lightly. Focus on the things that matter. Focus on the things that matter because you never know what people are going to attach to. You never know what people are going to hang on to. You never know what the thing that you do or say is going to be the thing that people remember forever. Right? So when you go into anything that you're doing, speak your reality into existence. Speak life over yourself. Speak about everything that you choose to do and that you speak about it in a way that it's already done. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I went into having this podcast, specifically Real Reality Realness, out of anything else that I've ever done, this particular project specifically was the one that I went into with the most intention. I really went into it with the most focus and the most drive and the most passion. And it was really like, I'm doing this for a reason. Now, mind you, I'm talking as someone who has put activism as the foundation of all of their content, from my YouTube channel to my other podcast to my other YouTube channel to my mixtape. Like, there's been an activist and advocacy perspective when it comes to all of my content. But with this, there was a balance of doing something I genuinely love that is also going to impact people. And finding that balance, all pun intended, is finding your groove. Now, when it comes to everything else surrounding that, it's like, listen, I'm trying to figure out how to say what I'm about to say without being messy. Because if anyone follows me um, closely, you know that this name, Chaos and Charcuterie, is not brand new. It's not come out of nowhere, right? Um, this was supposed to be a whole different segment. This was supposed to be a whole different thing. This was supposed to be a whole different type of vibe, Chaos and Charcuterie, right? But now, speaking of charcuterie, I ain't get no damn snack. I ain't bring nail snack. I ain't bring nail for the charcuterie. Next time. But the reason why this has changed is because there's a message that I want to extend to content creators and extend to people who call themselves wanting to do this. This is not a hobby. It can be, but if you want to really like when you go into content creation, you really need to make a decision on if this is going to be a job for you or if this is going to be a hobby for you. What do you want out of stepping into this lane? What do you want out of, you know, what do you want for your content? What do you want to be doing? Right? Because some people think that, you know, some people think that just getting on the internet and doing whatever they're doing is, whatever, and it's just fun, and you don't have to take it seriously, and you just hop on and you do this and you do that and you play around and it's this and it's that. But see, the thing is, this is actually like work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is actually work for me. This is something that I'm actually like, I am laying the foundation for a career in this, right? So if you are going to go into the avenue of content creation, the one thing that I can always stress to you without ever having to second guess it is know exactly what you want to do. And if you want to collaborate with people of like minds. If you want to play around and kiki and fool la la around the internet, find people that fool la la around the internet. I am not that person. I am not the person that is going to play around fool la la around the internet. I do everything that I do, I take it seriously. I take everything I do seriously. Every podcast, every interview, this live that I'm doing right now, everything I do it seriously. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just, some of you may not realize that this is a reboot. That says something. But what I will say is that this is me taking my work ethic, my professionalism, and my conceptual contribution, and just instead of trusting other people that I don't have the proper connection with my art, with my creativity, with my ideas, I am implementing all of those things into my own platform and utilizing those things for my own art and for my own work and for my own thing. You know what I mean? Um, I'm not going to get into the details of that because I'm not a messy girl. If you listen to my podcast, hopefully you do, Real Reality Realness. By the way, y'all can listen to Real Reality Realness anywhere that you can find podcasts, from Apple to Google to Amazon to Audible to Stitcher to iHeart to Spotify. You can find it all the places of the places that podcasts are streamed. I'm trying to make it real easy. Same thing with Housewives history. You can find it anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. By the way, drop down in the comments and let me know where you listen to podcasts at. Let me know where you listen to podcasts at so I can make sure that I have my podcast in the most effective places possible. Because right now, the most effective places that people listen to podcasts are Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart, places like that. So I have my podcast all of the places and the places that I can, keep it going and where I know people are listening. But if there's some other places that you listen, let me know. I personally listen to podcasts on Audible. I just like the look of the platform. I like the way that the episodes are set up. I like the way that the interface is set up. I personally listen on Audible. Sometimes I listen on Spotify. Sometimes I listen on Apple. But my main place that I listen to um, podcasts is Audible. So um, with that being said, how often I'm going to be doing chaos or charcuterie, I don't necessarily know. This is like a visual element to my podcast where it's just me talking about, all the things that are going on. Um, in the podcaster's life and it's not necessarily about the podcast. I may, connect with some people who I've interviewed on the podcast on Chaos and Charcuterie just to kick it and, see how people are doing off of that mic and on the screen and just, kiki and talk to people. There are some people who I've communicated with about bringing on and, just having a chat, about stuff. Um, but yeah, there's a. I'm looking at my notes and I forgot that I had this in my notes. Um, the reason why I was saying focus on the things that matter is because I had a note in here to talk about senior citizens arguing with me about things that really don't matter in life. And I just thought it was so funny that the things that people listen, I want this goes back to what I was saying about being intentional and about if you gonna say some shit, really say it with intention, say what you really want to say, and say it with some heart and some shit that means something. I had somebody sit in my Instagram comments today and argue with me about the way that I colloquialize the word child and tell me that I am grammatically incorrect because the way that I chose to misspell a word was wrong. And then want to bring and want to do it on the basis of them being older than me and I need to get cultured. Like, literally told me two different ways to misspell a word just because I spelled it like the country of Chile. I am now misappropriating grammar wrong, right? So this conversation was funny and ignorant as hell to me because I was like, how are you at your big age trying to sit in my face and talk to me about how to misspell a word and then call it culture on top of that? You tried to tell me how to misspell a word and tell me to get cultured. I'm sorry. I just what do people have to do? Like what like you ain't got nothing else better to do? You don't have anything else better to contribute to society than that? Than ignorance? Like, come on. Like it's just people. Like we gotta grow up at some point. Like we really gotta grow up at some point. Like at like my thing is I respect my elders. I respect everybody being grown. Hell, I'm 31 and I project myself to be 55. Okay? But what I'm not going to do is sit here and have an argument with you on social media about how to be ignorant and grammatically incorrect. At the end of the day, we can joke and BS and, type shit crazy all we want to. But what you're not going to do is try to shame me because I'm not ignorant like you. That's what we not going to do. Okay. I just feel like we just all have better things to be doing with our time. We have better things to contribute to society. We have better things to be typing in people's comments. I'm just saying, like, we got better shit to do. That's all I'm saying. Better shit to do, better shit to do, better shit to do. Now, speaking of better shit to do, I need better shit to watch. And I need y'all to give me suggestions on shit that I need to be watching on TV because I just finished watching all 6 seasons of How to Get Away with Murder. And let me tell you something. Viola Davis, I'm finna sue your ass for damages. I'm finna see you in court. You better remember all of your Annalise Keating trickery and buffoonery because the way y'all ended How to Get Away with Murder vexed my spirit. Do you hear me? The way that How to Get Away with Murder ended vexed my spirit. Listen, the show has been over for years. If you ain't watched it, sorry, spoiler alert. But Well, I ain't even gonna go and tell y'all what happened. What I will say is that the show ended in a way that didn't make any sense because one of the main characters was trying to prevent her child from ending up in the same position that the show had the child end up in. It didn't make any damn sense. I was like, y'all did all of that. We went through all this. We went through all this just for you to end up in the same place that you didn't want to end, and for everybody to get on that season finale in them dusty Tyler Perry throwaway looking ass cheap wigs. I'm sorry. I'm offended because I'm still trying to heal from them canceling Queens on me. Okay. I loved Queens. It took Brandy and Eve to get me back into scripted television. Before Queens was announced, I wasn't watching scripted TV. I was watching reality TV, the house down boots. Okay. And if it wasn't reality TV, it was YouTube. I was not doing scripted content, right? It took Queens to get me back, right? And when they canceled Queens, it broke my heart. Brandy, if anybody knows, was the voice of my damn childhood, right? Oh, Dave, we'll do another live later, and we can come back on just me and you, and we can talk later. I have something to do. I am a little bit later, but we can do a live tonight or tomorrow if you want, because we'll we'll figure it out. But yeah, the way that How to Get Away with Murder ended completely just ruined the end of my year. I'll say that. It ruined the end of my year. Peaky Blinders, In Treatment, The Big C. How was The Big C, Gabrielle? Because I remember when that was announced. That was right after Precious, Gabourey Sidibe's first big role after Precious and all of that. The Big C. That's a show about cancer, right? How was that? Enlightened, never heard of it. Oh, Peaky Blinders, I'll tell you to go on it. Send me the information. Riches on Amazon, never heard of it. Mr. Robot, haven't heard of that either. Y'all need to give me some scripted content to watch. So I will go through these. I'll start with The Big C. Mr. Robot sounds good. I want to know what Peaky Blinders is. What is that? Because that sounds very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if it's a TV show or not, but whatever it is, I want to get into it because Peaky and okay. What about reality shows too? Y'all can give me some reality shows too to watch because I don't mind British television. I don't mind British TV. Like my favorite British TV show is Keeping Up Appearances. Don't know if you've ever heard of that show, but I love British TV. I kind of connect to British humor. So I love the Brits. Y'all do the shit. Fun of the fun. Oh, it's telling me that I have 2 minutes left. Okay, I didn't know that live had time limits. My bad. Well, cool. Let me just go ahead and wrap up. Then I got through the most of my points anyway. Did I get through everything? I did. Okay, so cool. Send me your shows in the comments. I am gonna leave this up on my page and I'm gonna leave this up on my YouTube channel as well. So get at me, leave all of that. Tell me what shows you want me to watch. Tell me who you want me to bring on the podcast. Um, let's see. What else? Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Real Reality Realness with Shawn Ellis Rogers. It's everywhere you can find podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to Housewives History with Megan and Sean. That is everywhere you can find podcasts as well. All the places you can find Real Reality Realness, you can find Housewives History. Housewives History comes out every Friday. Real Reality Realness comes out Monday through Friday. Let me know who you want me to interview. I'll reach out. I've been reaching out to any and everybody. Not any and everybody. That's actually a bold faced lie. But I have been reaching out to a lot of people. I have some really big interviews coming up, including a housewife, including someone from another show. But we'll talk about all of those things later. Stay tuned. But I wanted to drop some tea just to leave y'all off on a note with. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you for being here. We will talk soon. Misbehave yourselves. I love you from the bottom of my green heart emoji. I will see you later. Peace. Bye, y'all.